Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Ilona and we are doing the weekly reading for December the 17th to the 23rd, and got some interesting energies here this week. Not surprising with the time of year that we have. So the main energy for the week that we received is the balance card. This is in the traditional tarot, the judgment card. And so in this week, the main energy is just trying to stay balanced. You know, we're all trying to finish up our Christmas shopping, finalize our holiday plans, figure out what's for dinner, organizing all kinds of things. And so this does not surprise me at all. This is an opportunity for us to get caught up in the details of things instead of remaining balanced. And, you know, what's interesting is that if we really stop and think about what do we enjoy about this time of year the most, it's the opportunity to visit with friends and family, to see people that maybe we don't normally see, to share stories, to laugh, to have good food. It's not about the details. If just imagine for a second that, if we all, it's like the Grinch, if the Grinch came in and stole everything, how would we respond? We would respond with love for each other and just being grateful for what we do have. So, this is just a reminder to sort of stay in this balance energy this week as we get ready for, what's supposed to be a really joyful time, not hectic. So let's not turn it into that. Let's really focus on this balance, which is interesting because the lesson for the week is the root chakra, which usually means stay grounded. The base chakra is located at the base of your spine. It's where we find our security, our safety, our family. All of those things get rooted in the root chakra. And when it's out of balance, it can be where we hold fear. So it's interesting that the lesson for this week is in this particular chakra because it is about staying grounded so that you can maintain that balance. Okay. So let's look at the obstacles we may encounter. And what's interesting is for the obstacle question, we got the obstacle card. So, for me, this card, actually two cards came out. We also got memories of love. So this is the nostalgia card. And so the obstacles we might encounter is, remembering times past and whether you had, a childhood that you want to remember or not. Most of us have a little bit of a wounded inner child because life can be challenging at times. We experience contrast, we experience heartache and disappointment, and all of those are beautiful lessons to teach us. But if we don't let go, or if we don't allow the experience to be a benefit, then we hold on to that energy and then we create misalignment, and we become all of these stories that we tell. And so for the obstacle that we might encounter this week, it's sort of like seeing this path as, is this the path I'm supposed to be on? What am I supposed to do with this information? How am I supposed to move forward? Where am I supposed to go? And it's like putting all of this pressure on ourselves, especially when we're dealing with friends and family that maybe we don't see on a regular basis. And so, it's going to be a week of potential obstacles rooted in, expectations, rooted in what we think our life is supposed to look like, what we think our activities are supposed to be. And it's like all of this, I shoulda, coulda, woulda energy. And so, really and truly, it's about understanding that your life has unfolded as you have created it. And so while that to some people might sound daunting, like you have to take responsibility for your life, I say nothing you've done has been wrong because you've learned from everything. You've had the lesson, you've had the experience, you've had the opportunity, and it has created who you are now. And that should be celebrated, not looked down upon. You should be celebrating the fact that you've overcome all of these obstacles. And there are more to come. There's more contrast to come, because in discovering what it is that you don't want, you can then give birth to and get really clear on what it is that you do want. And without obstacles, really defining that for us, we would probably be here wanting everything, and not everything is good for us. Not everything is meant for us. And so looking at the contrast with different eyes and saying, okay, this week, my obstacles, especially those obstacles from the past, because this is really about the past, my obstacles from the past have made me who I am, and I'm going to rejoice and embrace in those, and not letting those obstacles become a bigger part of you again, not opening up those old wounds. Because what we're going to learn, how we're going to benefit from this, if you really embrace that concept, okay, how you will benefit from it is new beginning in love for yourself. This is an acceptance. And, I've been talking about this for weeks. So it's interesting that these are the cards that come out. But it really is about accepting who you are, accepting all of the parts of you, whether they appear to be positive, perceived negative. Accept all of who you are, because in this life you cannot do it wrong. Everything becomes an opportunity if you choose to look at it that way. And, here, once again, this is supported by another card which says what needs to be released or healed. And the card that came out is the dolphin spirit. And so this dolphin spirit is this and that are true. And what's interesting about the dolphin is that it's a mammal and a sea creature. So it's about duality. It's about understanding that everything does happen for us, not to us. And so what we need to release in order to achieve this new beginning, this acceptance of ourselves and this new beginning in love, we have to accept that the duality that we perceive is not necessarily true, that everything is true. Yes, that was an experience that you may not have enjoyed, but yes, it's also true that it's there to benefit you. And the clarifier we got is love. So, what better way to look at it that, and here's the other thing is that when we are in duality consciousness, we think good, bad, right, wrong. When we're in unity consciousness, we think everything is connected, all is well. We're all here for, the purpose of growth. And so where we are with, what needs to be released, it really is releasing this duality consciousness that we are separate and understanding that only love is real. So I love that this message came out in what needs to be healed, especially as we're moving into spending time with our loved ones, because it can trigger these memories. It can trigger old wounds. It can create some obstacles for us to overcome this particular week. But if we are really willing to hold on to the fact that everything that has happened for us, that there was some suffering, but then there was some growing. There was some pain, but then there was some joy. There was the opportunity to look back at these things and say, okay, all of this did happen for me. And it happened to grow my position in love, to grow my consciousness, to grow just to create this wisdom. So to really embrace that spirit this week. So what's the message from the universe? Once again, we've got similar messages. We have memories and new growth. So the message from the universe, memories, new growth. Love begins. Okay? So what they're saying to us is, yes, as we get into this space of being triggered by old memories, grow from them. Understand that these experiences that we encountered created new growth. You know, we oftentimes say in this life, well, I'm starting back at ground zero. I'm starting back at the beginning. And you can't. You can actually never start where you were because you've always got new growth from whatever it is that you left behind. So whatever experience caused the new beginning to happen, this starting from zero, you came away from that experience with something, with some wisdom, with some growth. That's why if we look at these memories, we want to look at them from a position of moving forward, not from a position of obstacles and challenges to keep us where we are, because we're never the same after those experiences. You can't be. There's always new growth that takes place. So the universe is really encouraging you at this end of the year, saying, okay, what are your memories from this year? What are your memories from years past? And how can you use those memories? How can you use that information for new growth? Okay. Whenever we are living in our memories, we're living in our past, we're living in the past experiences, you know, we're writing these stories about ourselves. The challenge is whatever story you're telling, now you have to live up to that. So, you know, for example, if you're living the story of having a rough childhood, those are your memories. That now you have to be the product of rough childhood. What does that look like? You know, does that look like a victim or does that look like someone who's in charge? And you get to decide. That's what's beautiful about it. You get to decide, what do you want to do with these memories? Do you want to keep you stuck in this victimhood, or do you want them to allow new growth and say, how can I use this experience for me? Okay. And so the last question is, what can we expect moving forward? And we got the body card, and then it came also with the psychic knowing. So this is your intuition. So this card says, body, show me, divine, how to love and fully care for this body. Please give me the radiant miracle of accepting my body as it is. And it's interesting because, you know, we've got the new year coming up, and everybody's going to want to do New Year's resolutions and start a workout program and do all of these things. And so it's like, no, what we need to know moving forward is, if we really truly want to make changes about our body, it's not going to benefit you to look down and badly at your body, because that energy is going to keep you where you are. Instead, it's about saying, okay, I know that I've got this body. I love this body. I want to care for this body. It's hard to make good choices about your body when you're feeling negatively about it. So if you want to make changes to your body, you have to first start seeing your body as something you love. Because what do you do with things that you love? You take care of them. You nurture them. What do you do with things you don't love? You neglect, you leave it behind, you don't pay attention to it. So if you truly want to make changes moving forward to your body, you've got to create this self-love. You've got to get grounded, get rooted in what it is that you want, create this self-love, have new growth, and once again, feel the love. So your intuition, this is psychic knowing, your intuition is going to tell you what you need to know about your body. Loving it first is how you'll get to where you want to be. So I hope this message helps you. If you would like to have a private reading of your own, you can look down at the description box below and see how to contact me. I hope you guys have a beautiful week, and I will talk to you again soon. Namaste.